I grew up in New York City to family members who were in active addiction. My mother died at 37 of AIDS, and we used. I mean, my mom, it was the 80s, and it was party time, and, it was the clubs, and it was this, and it was that, and my mother raising two kids as a single mom. And as we grew up, my parents did the best they could with what they had, but it wasn't unusual. Everyone in my neighborhood partied. As my mother's disease progressed, she decided to move to Florida to be by her only sister because she knew she was dying. It was just a rough time. I always talk about that because as her disease progressed, so did mine, right? It's like an illness. And so when I speak, I kind of do a parallel between HIV and the disease of addiction, right? And so with HIV, it affects your immune system, right? It works against you. With the disease of addiction, it works against us, right? It works on our brain, it works on our spirit, it does the chemical imbalance. And so it kind of attacks us from the inside out. And so as her disease progressed, so did mine. And so my mother died without me ever being able to say goodbye. I was too busy, running the streets. I was homeless. And what I did was she died in July and I got sober in September. And between September and July and September, I hit rock bottom. And, sometimes we have lapse in our recovery, and a lot of people that I know may have lapse and things like that. But I believe that we hit different bottoms, right? And a bottom is when we stop digging, because we could always go back and dig for more, And so I kind of hit my bottom, and I made a choice to not return to, substance use disorder for 26 years. But that doesn't mean that I would not stop to dig some more. So I have to be real vigilant. I do things like this, like partner with Katie and the Foundations to Freedom. We give out Narcan to the community. And I try to stay real active in the community so I don't return to active use disorder. None of my children have seen me in active addiction. I have a 23-year-old, I have a 13-year-old, and an 11-year-old. And so none of them have seen me, but and I didn't have a mom to teach me how to be a mom. It was the support that I got from this community that said, hey, she might have a diaper rash, you may want to put this on her. Or she might be ready for potty training, things that you would lean on your parents, like, what do I do? I had the support of the women in the fellowship that have helped me through. So yeah, I think I didn't do it alone. It takes a village. And so here I am now. I was a soccer mom, and then a dance mom, and then a football mom. And I definitely didn't want that community to know, or my worlds to intertwine and be exposed. Because if I'm exposed, what if the kids don't want to play with my kids? What if the parents are judging me, And so I didn't want to do that for the sake of my children. When I joined the Volusia Recovery Alliance, they talked about stigma. And they talked about the fact that because people are not coming out and saying, hey, I'm in recovery, me too, and me too, and I'm a member, I pay taxes, I'm a business owner, and I'm in recovery, and that's okay. And so I decided one day to put something on Facebook and say, hey, this is my clean day. I'm very proud to be a person in long-term recovery, or I'm passing out Narcan to the community, And so I did that because I had a lot of friends on Facebook from different communities, dance, football, and some of them really embraced me, and some of them congratulated me, and some, didn't say much, but they knew. But what I realized is that it didn't change the fact that we still have sleepovers, or that moms are like, hey, can you pick up my kid and take them to football? This fear that I had because of stigma was taken away the minute I didn't give society the power. One of the things I want to say about Foundation to Freedom is that they have unmasked the stigma here in the land. They have fought to unmask the stigma, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of Katie because people were dying, and she's giving them hope. Where there's breath, there's hope. I tell all my girls that. Our goal is to have somebody live long enough to want to seek a different way of life. So how do we do that? Pushing them in a corner and telling them, you're an addict, you're not going to amount to nothing, you got to do something different or you're going to die. That's not, statistically, it's been proven that that's not helping. That peer-led support is what's helping. Holding someone's hands and saying, I see you, let's walk through this together.